Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another live session with the Hype Magazine. I'm your editor-in-chief, Jerry Doby, and today, I've got this amazing young lion that's on the line with me by the name of Haleigh Marchisio. She is a model. She is an event producer. She's an artist with an amazing stage show. She's only 22 years old, kicked it off in Kansas City. Although she was born in LA, shout out West Coast. We always make some good stuff out in the West Coast. Here she is migrating to the Midwest, taking over the game. Look, she started at like 4 years old. She wanted to learn instruments. We're gonna get into that and see how many what she plays primarily the guitar and the piano though. Uh, and she's self-taught. She began writing songs for her mom while she was in elementary school. So really great to have you with us and get a chance to learn more about you, Haleigh. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm super glad to be here. So
Awesome. All right. So let's get reflective real quick. Let's kick it
let's
off
do
there.
it.
From the inside looking out, how do you see Haleigh Marchisio, the artist, the creative?
I really just see myself as like your human, your average human, man. Like I'm a daughter at the end of the day. I'm a sister at the end of the day. I'm an employee at the end of the day, and I'm myself at the end of the day. So, all those things I take into consideration from the inside out. That's what I see when I'm making music, or I'm just simply so sorry about that. I had a phone call coming in. But whether I'm making music or whether it's just my day-to-day life, that's what I stick true to as far as my artistry goes. On the outside, obviously, it might appear different, but I carry that on my sleeve every day. I'm just a human at the end of the day, you know.
That's good stuff right there. That's good stuff right there. So, was there a benchmark moment that made you see that, music, the entertainment industry itself, is where you needed to be? It says, I gotta have you. Come over here, Haleigh.
Yeah, kind of. I went to 11 schools growing up, and in the process of that, you have all those teachers that ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? What you want to be? And to me, that was a loaded question because I kind of wanted to be everything, you know what I mean? Like anything from a doctor, to one point, I remember saying I wanted to be a DJ scientist, and that's a true story. So that being said, it's kind of always been on the back end of my mind, music, but as time went on, I started watching TED Talks, and that's really the root of it is TED Talks. In science class, Mr. Dickerson, rest in peace. He'd always make us watch those, on our downtime. And essentially, that I realized, like, I thought it was super impactful, and I wanted to do something that helped create that impact in my own way. And I realized as years went on that music was that, like you said, starting at the age of 4, music was there. I'm in elementary school, music's there, and I just don't really know how to put the pieces together. And then kind of one day it just hit me. I was like, damn, I came out with that song Hectic. I was just going through some stuff. I'd never even thought about really pursuing music professionally. I was just in my car riding one day, and I was like, this is my TED Talk. This is my service here, to bring to the world. So that's kind of what kicked it. It was me writing Hectic in my car that day and then seeing kind of how people responded to that and kind of putting the pieces together, if you will.
Okay. That's dope. And so the real kickoff, what, 19, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh, you wrote this joint called Hectic, and it turned into some major opportunities. Being on stage Tech Nine,
Yeah.
highlighting or being featured, 2021 through the Pride events in Kansas City,
Yep.
and you know, reaching thousands of people. And once they hear you, and then once they see you, I'm hooked. You know what I mean? I'm an old head, like I'm a real knucklehead when it comes to this thing. And I'm going, wow, this is a star right there. And so getting an opportunity to showcase not only, in the clubs and whatnot, but the pride events where there's thousands of people getting an opportunity to see you, that had to make a little bit of a difference. Professionally, how did that exposure advance you?
Um, I mean, first and foremost, it advanced me, myself, and just what I wanted to bring to the stage. Like, no pun intended. I really genuinely just realized I was like, damn, I gotta up my game. Like, you know, you see the Beyonce Homecoming Netflix docuseries. It's one of like the most viewed series of all time. And it was kind of like showing, you know, the back end of like getting dancers together and getting this together and actually making an actual production out of it, not just going up there singing your songs. And I kind of, it hit me like, dang, performing is kind of in its own lane, separate from me just making this music. You know what I mean? So it really made me want to elevate and step to the plate, which I did. I had three amazing dancers, Julia Bates, Blair Butler, and Katie Oberg. I want to shout them out. I got them together. We ended up doing choreography for those Pride event sets. It was the first time I ever did that, as well as some other things that really pivoted me in that sense. Now, as far as everything else went, you know, it was the first time I ever had people ask for a signature, first time I ever had people pull me aside for pictures. That was a super, super humbling, awesome experience. And that just kind of made me realize the potential that I had on a different end of things. So all around, I mean, it's been pivotal, but in a very constructive way, I would say.
Okay. And then here's the kicker. Because as we can see, God did his thing with the artwork, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. That was a smart ass comment to say you're
I,
beautiful without
I'm
saying
hip.
beautiful. Okay.
I'm hip.
All right, cool. All right, cool. So you got that. And then so she got a chance to walk some fashion show events for some initiatives. She's a community activist as well, very, in touch with the community and specifically kids. So a nonprofit, you started walking for them in their fashion shows called Operation Breakthrough. Talk to me about that experience and what's come of that.
Yeah, so that's super awesome. Back to the first single I released, Hectic, it was kind of talking about the trials and tribulations I went through as a kid, which I think we all have our own stories, you know what I mean? But here in Kansas City, specifically, there's a nonprofit organization called Operation Breakthrough, and it works with a lot of kids who just don't have either the funds and or the resources to be able to get the tutoring or, you know, whether it's academic help or getting into maybe gardening or music, whatever it may be. They kind of help fund all of that and provide teachers and counselors to be able to do that for them. So as time's gone on for me, that's something that was really big and in the forefront of my mind of what I wanted to be able to help contribute with once I was able to do so. And I was blessed enough to get the opportunity for that. At the time, one of my good friends, her name is Raquel Beechner. She runs Shop Raquel B, a fashion designer in the area. She got the opportunity to be a designer for them. And in result of that, I was able to walk for them and not only walk for them, but perform for them at the Hy-Vee Arena with Tech Nine, that one you were talking about, as well as at the College Basketball Experience Arena, which were both for nonprofit situations. So, but yeah, Operation Breakthrough is amazing. And if anybody has ever heard of it or haven't heard of it, definitely look into them, check them out. Amazing cause there.
Okay, okay. Yeah, we have to be good community citizens and participate. And if you have a skill on a platform, it is important to use that. Once you got yourself together and you're able to, you know, have your focus on yourself and at the same time say, oh, I could take these lessons and share here. I can, use my platform to help buttress somebody else's initiative. And that's a big thing. And at a young age, a lot of people are more concentrating on self and figuring out who they are as opposed to being aware enough to reach out and understand it. So shout out to you, you know what I mean, for working that process through your mind and getting to the point where you're comfortable. It's like, I do have something to contribute and having the guts to step out and actually do it in the forefront. So
Yeah,
shout out to you as a young person. I appreciate
appreciate
it.
that.
Uh, so look, if you had to, hectic obviously is foundational, but if you had to pick from your overall body of work, everything that you did from beginning to today, if you had one song you feel was like this really dope introduction to the foundational Haleigh, what joint would you pick from your catalog?
I definitely think Hectic is that one. I know I might be overkilling talking about it, but you know what? I've prided myself on making sure that all of my music was entirely individual and unique to itself. Some of it's, you know, stories from my personal past and experiences. Some of it's relationship stuff. Some of it's, you know, advice to my siblings. Some of it's, you know, so on and so forth. But again, Hectic was just kind of that one where it was like, you know, everybody has their frustrations and turmoils in life, and it's kind of that teetering make or break moment. It's either going to create pressure and make a diamond, or it's going to crush you. And that was me kind of pulling myself out of the ground and being like, nah, diamonds are going to be made here. And even though the dirt and the soil was really nasty and I had to wash a lot of it off and I had to, you know, break through the surface to get here, I did that, and it's made me that diamond that I am today. And that's kind of the entirely what that song is about. A lot of people like to end hip hop songs, you know, kind of on a negative front and keep it on a negative foot. The whole point of that one's to have the positive outcome of what the future is going to carry. So I'd say that one is definitely big milestone there. I did release a song called "Letter to the Past" as well. That one specifically, I've had a lot of people in my life who faced trials and tribulations, and they weren't exactly easy. You know what I mean? Myself included in that. And that song is also a very, you know, true to home message. The visuals of it, the storytelling of it, all of which. So I'd say those two combined make the foundation of what I have brought out so far.
Okay. And Letter to the Past is your most recent one, right? I know you
That
got
is
some
my,
other stuff in the works, but that's the
yeah.
latest one that's out.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's the most recent that's out. We do got two more that are gonna be rolling out definitely before this summer, by this summer, which I'm super excited for. It's a completely different lane switch, but those two, those are the ones. And yeah.
You are you talking about the future and evolution of sound and things like that. And so you you're partnered on a joint with two-time Grammy nominated producer Phantom of the Beat.
Yeah.
Heat for the streets is his tagline, right? But
Yeah.
um talk to me about that when it's like, as I see the description, it says, you know, it's a fusion between pop, hip hop, and some smooth R&B vibes. Talk to me about the feeling. I understand that you can't, you know, share too much about
Yeah.
the intricacies of the song, but talk to me about the feeling that we're going to get with this one, you think?
You know, sound wise, not so much the same, but as far as the flow goes, very Jack Harlow vibes, I would say. Like this it's fun. Some of my other songs are serious, like I said. Some of them are telling some real life stuff. Some of them are playful, and they're just kind of emotional things that I'm going through. And that song that I did with Phantom, he gave me a banger of a beat, man. It's dancey, it's jumpy, is, you know, so essentially it's just kind of me coming into where I'm at right now, my confidence and my stage presence and the opportunities to travel, and just being like, hey guys, you know, if you want to join on, you know, I got my planes open for you. Let's hop on, let's go cruise, let's hit these stages, let's meet some fans, let's, you know, but make it, you know, classy and fun. So that one's super awesome. I'm so excited for that. I think it definitely portrays kind of where I'm headed as far as where my sound's at and just how I'm growing as an adult in my own life. But I think it also really shows the diversity of Phantom's ability to change up his beats and his frequencies depending on the artist and the style. And it's a fun one. I'm excited. I'm
Okay.
excited for that one.
I'm excited to hear it. I'm excited that, you know, he's got a hell of a track record sonically,
Yeah.
and I got a chance to come out and see you live. My first time ever meeting you, seeing you, I'm like, oh wow, this girl is special, and we need to make sure that people know you're coming because boy, yeah.
Yeah. I
And then
appreciate that.
so you got a second song. You mentioned two songs. The other one is called what? Sweetheart, and it's kind of Neptune-ish.
Yeah. So Sweetheart, that one's kind of my pride and joy at the moment. I am like ecstatic about that one just because it's just been received so well. So I'm a big Pharrell fan, forever been a Pharrell fan, but you throw it back early 2000s to the Neptunes, and that's like exactly what that beat gave me. And so, you know, I've never said I wanted to be just mainstream pop or one specific genre, like I said, but this is a genre I enjoy very much. And so it's another kind of dancey song, and it's like, hey baby, I've been thinking about you lately. Keep on talking to me crazy. Yeah, you know I want you. So I'm not gonna give away the whole thing, but it's just kind of a funky little vibey beat, and it's kind of again just kind of that Rico Suave, you know, little lady killer vibe that you got to throw a little of that in there somewhere. So that's gonna be that.
Hey, I'm mad at you. I ain't mad at that one.
Hey,
Hey,
you know
you
what I
got a
mean?
little exclusive clip right here on the Hype Magazine, the Hype Line Sessions. What? We got it hype first from Haleigh. What? Look, Dynamo. How do you keep your energy up? Because you're everywhere.
Kind
across that stage. And some people try to perform and move and all that, and they sound out of breath. Do you have a routine, a physical routine that keeps you and your breathing, tight, your cardio shit? What you do?
Um, so back a while ago, I was actually very involved in boxing, Muay Thai, MMA training. That kept me extremely fit. Not gonna lie, it moves fast, man. Sometimes you can't move as fast as life does. So I've kind of fallen off that. But outside of that, I was working with a guy named Aaron Connor. He is also a multi Grammy nominated musical engineer. Worked with Bone Thugs Harmony, et cetera, et cetera. He actually was my neighbor growing up. And I started reaching out to him to get into his studio because we both moved from LA to Kansas City. I was working with him, and I actually got connected with a vocal coach named Jody Reinhardt. Amazing, amazing, amazing lady. I worked with her for about a year, and she really honed in on helping me with my breathing techniques, things to kind of do to prepare before a show. Get your vocal cords right, rest your vocal cords, but primarily of how to utilize the breath while on stage. Now, I'm not gonna don't get me wrong, I still struggle. I definitely need to get back in the gym. Endurance is everything. Cardio is everything, especially when you have all that adrenaline hitting you. You don't even realize like you're running out of breath like that. But just kind of having the mindfulness of it, just like everything else. Foundation work is just being mindful of what you're even doing in the first place. So Jody helped me with that. I need to get my butt back in the gym though. So don't get me twisted on that.
Uh, Earlier on in my career, I was representing an artist, and we went out on tour. First stop, embarrassed the hell out of me, right? Because I used my relationship to get him on stage, and
Yeah.
like you pull into Texas, you're on the marquee, and this has never happened to them before, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Man, this Joker got on stage and ran out of breath the first song.
Oh shit.
You got a whole, I mean, it's a sold out club.
Yeah.
We're in Houston, so that's like 700 people.
Yeah.
They, I'm like, bro, the dude who booked them for me wouldn't even talk to me anymore. Ruined an entire
Oh.
relationship because they weren't prepared. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They didn't take it seriously. So I like your mindset about doing all the details and things. And I've always wondered, because I'm old and I ain't moving across I ain't running nowhere. I'm not running to the bathroom. So I always wondered kind of what routines people with high energy shows like yourself do
Yeah.
to keep it popping, keep it smooth.
Yeah, I'll say another huge part of it definitely, and I don't mean to cut you off, sorry if I did. Another huge part of it's like energy, like confidence. Like I have first, like I said from the beginning of this interview, like, dog, you make a song in the studio, right? And you're like, ooh, this is fire. Like this is just banger, this is a banger. Okay, cool. You get your first opportunity to get on stage, you get that mic in your hand, you got everybody looking up at you, you're just looking at them, and you're like, well, what am I about to do? What do I do now? You know what I mean? And
Right.
so as time went on, because I definitely had that period of time where I just it's kind of being uncomfortable in your own skin, that imposter syndrome. I think everybody goes through that the second you stop going through that, this might not be for you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as time goes on, the more confidence you build just within yourself, I think that also really helps you maintain that energy on stage. I could be tired as hell. You traveling. If you're not traveling, you're celebrating afterwards. If you're not celebrating afterwards, you're up all night because your show didn't end until midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. You could be completely dead to the world and not have prepared that much, which I do not recommend to anybody. But
Yeah.
it did, you still get on stage. And if you know how to manipulate that energy, and I don't mean that in a negative way, I mean to benefit both you and the crowd, then that also helps drastically. And I think that's something that me elevating my music and coming into these new sounds, I've just continued to just feel more comfortable in my own skin and more confident on that stage, which really helps translate to you guys.
So there really is a cerebral part to elevating your game
Yeah.
in the industry. How long, you know, was the process for you before you really like became comfortable and had all the I's dotted, the T's crossed for your presentation and your sound?
I'd be lying if I said I felt like I was at that point. You know what I mean? I think as an artist, that's gonna be something I always struggle with, is feeling like there's always more I can do. There's always that comparison factor of all the people you watch growing up and seeing where they're at and just continuing to want to elevate. But at the same token, I do think there was a certain point that was really crucial in my comfortability on stage. And I think that was the Pride Fest of 2022. I had moved away to Hawaii for a while. I took a little hiatus from music because I really was trying to get my mind right. There's a lot of things about the music industry that's intimidating, you know. But I came back. I ended up getting asked to headline the Kansas City Pride Fest. And I just remember walking through the crowd. The year before, I had a way earlier slot. This one was like the headlining slot. So I come walking in, there's just thousands of people there. And I'm just like, I got my dancers. I feel prepared. But it's just like everything goes out the window when you see that. You know what I mean? It's just like, I literally don't even know the alphabet right now. I don't know anything. And then I got, they call your name up and it's like, dude, either you're going to get on that stage and you're going to just give it your all and at least you did it, or you're going to not do this performance and that's going to weigh on your, reputation forever. So I got up there, we did it. Looking back at those videos, man, and how people were responding, man, I was like, damn, like, get out of your head. You know what I mean? So starting on that big scale, getting the opportunity to Hy-Vee Arena, I just did so many shows that scared the absolute crap out of me that I think I finally hit a point where it was like that pressure was making me diamond after diamond after diamond. And it was just because I was willing to bet on myself and take a chance, even if I wasn't fully confident in myself yet. Proving to yourself you can do some stuff that you were shaking in your knees to do is it's one of those character building things. And I think that time frame really pivoted me for that.
Yeah, it adds tools and resources to your toolbox.
Yeah.
And, as you, like you said, you reviewed the video and you're like, well, I really do know what I'm doing. I really do make a connection with the crowd. And that
Yeah.
was another thing that was really crazy for me. Like I'm watching I'm watching the crowd at this event. People that were sitting down, they were eating, they weren't paying attention to much, in their conversation and whatnot. You hit that stage, man, the first note, folks were up out of the tables, they're coming to the front, they knew every damn word, they were partying with you. Does that give you another level of comfortability when they're partying with you and it's just a party now?
Absolutely, man. Imagine you are on stage and you're singing happy birthday, all right? And everybody's just looking at you like, all
Right.
right. Or if they're in the background, they're like, happy birthday. If they're doing that's the energy change. Like you're like, oh yeah, like not only am I feeling good right now, but y'all feeling good. Now we feel good. You know what I mean? It's the entire dynamic change, the entire rooms, the entire performance, and definitely the energy I give. So if I feel like you're not feeling it, I swear I'm gonna get in my head. It's still my music at the end of the day. It's still a very
Right.
vulnerable thing.
Right. Right.
It's kind of that validation.
I can only imagine, I'm a writer. I don't make music. I don't make music. I can't play Mary Had a Little Lamb or anything, right? So uh I can only compare it to writing. When somebody out of the blue says, "Oh, you're from this outlet. You wrote that piece on such and such." I'm like, "You fucking read that?
Eh,
You're spitting it back to me?"
yeah,
Wow. Imposter syndrome, like you said earlier,
yeah,
like anybody really wants to read what I'm writing, and it's just been crazy. I've
mm,
been doing it for a while, and I guess I'm doing all right. People still talk to me. You're here talking to me, so I must be doing something. But I'm just, connected with what you're saying as regards the energy and the feedback. And but as a performer, that probably gives you an additional adrenaline boost. It gives you a deeper connection with the audience and maybe allows you a little more freedom in your head, like you said, uh, to put a little extra
mm,
on it.
yeah,
You've
yeah,
already done your thing in the studio. Now you're performing and you're like, I got you. And you keep them on the hook like a great DJ. That's kind
yeah,
of the way I'm.
absolutely.
What has been, because you talked about, the music business, the entertainment industry across the board is heavy.
Yeah.
And it's a crazy maze to navigate. Could you maybe share with me like your biggest surprise about the business portion of the music business as you began to elevate and negotiate with different entities and people?
I think my response is probably going to be completely ass backwards from what most people are going to say. But living in LA, obviously, you see how toxic this kind of industry can be. You can see how fake it could be. A lot of people are there for their own personal gain, whether that's talking sweet to your face and then completely burying you in contracts or, whatever the case may be. And so for me, starting at a very young age, I had a very much so love-hate relationship, with this industry. I think everyone's mindset growing up is like, this is the most unrealistic thing in the world. It's a cutthroat industry, which it is in some ways. But it just seems so far out of reach. Like this is just a fantasy or a dream, if you will. And if you do get in it, it's going to be XYZ negative. Moving to Missouri, I obviously didn't expect our Kansas City specifically, our music industry to boom the way it has, our television and cinematic industry to boom the way it has, sports, et cetera, et cetera. But the thing that shocked me the most was actually how just loving my community has been. Don't get me wrong, there's still some sharks out there. There always will be. But man, I started doing this music, and I'm telling you, whether I was at a house party, whether I was just talking to some random Joe Schmo, I didn't know who I was talking to, and it'd be the right person, right place, right time. Connections have brought me so far within this industry, and that's just due to pure love and support within my community, which blew me away. I was not expecting that. That aside, I didn't realize the potential and possibility of how possible and tangible it is to make your dream come true. Now, I'm not saying or expecting to become a class A celebrity, on the red carpet or anything by any means, but at the same time, the fact that I'm even able to step on stage at the Hy-Vee Arena and tag the stage with Tech Nine, and I have fans coming and asking for signatures after I headline Pride Fest, which I'm part of the LGBT community, of course, and just even those things is just like, damn, like this is actually at like the tip of your fingers. You just have to tune in. You know what I mean? Both of those things really blew me away, and I think those two things alone have really kept me on the right track as far as I do want this, and there's a bigger picture to this. There's a reason it's aligning. You know what I mean? If that makes sense at all. But yeah, just the community we've got in Kansas City blew me away.
Okay. Well, you totally put work clothes on your dream, man, and went to the site. You built a great foundation. The walls are up, the electricity's in, and it's time to put the plumbing in and let it run. You feel
Yeah,
me? Turn that joker on hot, full
literally.
Steve, and let's ride.
Right.
I see in you, and you didn't ask, but I don't care. It's my show. I can say what I want to say. I see in you a young dynamo who has, at a young age, experienced some things that make you more aware of the world around you and yourself and your place in it. And then I see you as observant enough with the crowds and how people react to you to understand how you can move the crowd, to coin a earlier hip hop phrase.
Yeah.
And that's really dope. And like you said, if you get out of your head, and mental health situations for creatives, it's a standard story across the board. Everybody who's sensitive to be creative like you do, and to be able to pick up cues and translate those cues and those scenarios into a cohesive thought that turns into a song, breaking it down. Oh, I'm going to say this in this verse. Oh, I need to put that word here for more impact. That analysis. Geez, I'm trying to. Here I go. I'm old. It, Look, I've been up since 2:30 this morning teaching. So I have students across in India that I'm teaching at 2:30 in the morning. And then I'm prepping to come talk to you. In my brain,
Crazy.
yeah, the pronunciations are different. And they're in that British English thing. I'm like, I just got stuck. So I apologize, but
No, you're good, man.
I'm not cutting it out because this is real. This is a live session. This is hype live sessions. You know what I mean? So mental health. What do you do to maintain your focus and your mental health when you find yourself getting too deep into your head? And do you pick up the items like the Pride? Do you pick up items like Hy-Vee with Tech and remind yourself you did this, you were successful at this, you're on the right path, you've proven it to everybody else. Now keep the evidence for yourself to bolster your confidence. Do you have a technique? How do you process when you hit those moments?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple facets to it, but that's definitely a big one is Music, it can get to a point where it's very consistent. You got a lot of shows going on, but there's times where you might not have a show for a month or two. Maybe you're working on a music project and you just aren't getting on stage right now. That's not in your schedule. It's not in, your books at the moment. There's times where I'll hit that and, you get that little fear back in you, like, damn, I haven't been on a stage in a minute. I mean, even that performance you saw with me at Nimble, that week was the first week I had been on stage in about 6 months, 7 months, just because I had a lot of stuff going on. I had a lot of projects released. I had other things going on. And yeah, I had to you got to remind yourself, like, this is what it is. But on the other end, I also find, like, the fast paced life of being a creative, whether it's an actress or, musician, whatever it is. It's just go, go, go all the time. There's networking all the time. You're meeting people all the time. You're putting on a smile all the time. You're small talking all the time. And that's the thing that sometimes will get to me, as like, I just need to unplug. Like, I just need a minute. Like, I can have 50 shows booked in a matter of 2-3 months, but I'm going to be that person after my show. I'm going home. I'm kicking my socks off. I'm taking a shower. I'm going to sit down with my notebook. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to do whatever Haleigh needs to do for a minute, so that way I can get back to the center, because again, at the end of the day, what am I? A human. So I think there's two sides to that story. Either I'm chilling myself out and I'm really taking a moment to really recharge myself and be with myself and remind myself, hey, it's okay to get worn out. You gotta reset, recharge. But there's another side of it that's like, yeah, hey man, like, why are you pumping the brakes? Why are you letting fear get in the way? Why are you getting agitated at yourself? You remember where you were then. Now look at where you're at. Look at these things that you went through. You thought you couldn't even grace that stage or pull that off. And look what you did. Like, it kind of all comes into play just depending on the situation and the circumstance of the moment. But yeah, I'd say those two things combined really help center me out. And then just, of course, having a good core group of people around me. This industry, you can have 50,000 people around you. You can have five. And sometimes those five people are going to carry you so much farther than those 50,000 people would, because one of those might drop you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's those things combined really. It's just, again, about intention. Do you have the mental awareness to know, hey, you're burning out a little bit, you need to take a little second to yourself? Do you have the self motivation to be like, hey, I did this before and you can do this again? Do you have the boundaries with your circle, etc.? So yeah.
I like that. Across my years doing this part, one of the things that I've heard consistently from the A-list stars to those that are on the cusp of breaking, you know what I mean? It has been the smaller circle makes it easier because they're more in tune with you as a person as well. And they see your ups and downs and they can call you and say, yo, you're tripping. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
calm down, or you did great. Or if you're not, delivering at your best, be like, no, that ain't it. Do it
Mhm.
again. You know what I mean? They're not afraid to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Not having a bunch of yes people around you seems to be one of the biggest parts of moving forward and being successful.
Yeah.
Is that okay? So
Yep.
and that helps with the mental health too, because you've got a team that's
Yeah.
not going to let you get taken out of your heaven. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Uh,
Unless you do it to yourself. So, okay. What has been the most, if you had to highlight, I mean, a fan engagement, something that really touched you the most? Do you have a one of those, or even several, probably, I'm sure, because you cross multiple, from the LGBT to being just female to being a young female, age wise. So people are identifying with you on multiple levels and saying, oh, you met me where I was at. That song helped me, or I was feeling that and you said it for me. Do you have like one of those moments or engagements, conversations with a fan, supporter, however you call them, that really stands out for you and helps you out day to day?
yeah. Again, back to the point of, like, I wanted to do TED Talks, right? This is my TED Talk. Getting a song out and you feeling how you feel about that song is one thing, but getting the consumer's emotion and in response to it's a whole other, you know what I mean? I remember shortly after or before the Hy-Vee Arena, I actually had a couple of people reach out to me for Hectic. And this one girl in particular kind of just randomly sent me this just long paragraph. And I read it all, and it was something along the lines of, life had been life in her as well. You know what I mean? A lot of different facets, a lot of different ways. It was just kind of knocking her down. And she kind of expressed to me that, and it sounds so corny, but like I could pull this up right now, and it's true, and it really like brought tears to my eyes. And she was like, this song in particular, this track in particular, really helped give me some perspective on why these things were going on in my life. Because even though they might not have been beautiful and they might not have felt good, you know what I mean? The where I'm at now, the why I am where I'm at now, it all is kind of clicking and making sense due to this song. And there's a lot of times that I felt helpless. I felt this, and just some of the things you say and the way you carry about your music, it really has helped me and has resonated with me. And that was something that I was just like, damn, like there's a bigger picture to this. This is what I was shooting for, you know what I mean? All the way to me having kids, you know what I mean, coming out to me. I mean, the Operation Breakthrough show, I had a couple of kids come up to me after the show. They wanted to take pictures. They're asking, me about my music stuff. They're trying to have me hear them sing. And there's just things that's just like, damn, like I remember when I was young, and like I felt this way about somebody's music, or I looked up to this person, and that's why I'm at where I'm at now. And it's like, dude, that like it's a trip, like seeing like that's me to other people right now. You know what I mean? It's just kind of, it happens before you know it, and it's just like the second it is before your eyes, you're like, damn, like there's so much gratitude. So those things alone, yeah, they keep me pushing, man. They make me excited. They make me like, this is worth it. Like this is what it's for. Um, it keeps that gas under me for sure.
I, it's dope. Because you get a chance to, like, you have these artists or personalities that you've admired for their work, and you're like, oh wow, that's really great. And
Hmm.
then it flips and you're in their position,
Yeah, dude.
and there are others looking. Besides having a smile, like, oh, people really want to hear what I have to say. They're
Hmm.
feeling me. I'm really connecting. Okay, cool. It got to be scary as heck, because once they connect with you like that, do you feel like this extra responsibility to your supporters, or are you free of mind right now as you to create what Haleigh feels and what Haleigh loves, and just entrusting it, to the world as you deliver it and go, somebody's going to receive it. Somebody may not, it might be for everybody, but somebody. Talk to me about that.
That's a great question. Yeah, I think in a lot of ways the way I move socially has changed. Just in the sense I do feel like a responsibility as um I wouldn't even say public figures the right way, but as just a figure of the public that is performing in public situations. I'm posting to a lot of public, things, and I'm a part of a lot of public things. I think that now that I do have an audience, I have kids that, look out for me. I've got adults that look out for me. I've got friends. Like the way that I carry myself drastically has a huge importance to me. Um, there's a lot of things that I really try to keep in line, and I try to present well, smile on my face, respectful, because you just never know. And the last thing I want to do is jade that for anybody, and that's just not who I am as a person anyways. So it really just helps hold me to a higher standard of where I want to be at. Now on the music side of things, I don't necessarily feel obligated to releasing any specific thing. My fan base, my community around me has been very, very loving and accepting of whatever I have to release. A lot of the people have taken the time to just really love me for me, which I'm so thankful for. Again, no matter if it's some Pharrell stuff or if it's hip hop or if it's kind of slow in my feels. So my music is going to continue to be my music, true to me. I do want some more dancey, vibey stuff. I think my audience wants that as well. I think that's good for just the heart and good for performances. So I'm going to keep doing that. But the main thing that my audience has changed is just how I walk through my day-to-day life, man. How I talk to people. Am I gonna hold the door open for you? Am I gonna treat you with respect? Absolutely. I'm gonna try to do all that. Because I want that exuded not just on stage, but in day-to-day life. I don't want to be one of those, a-hole artists that's like, in order for me to feel like I'm on top, I gotta step on everyone else. I don't want that to be anyone's mentality anyway. Anytime. So that's kind of where it's pivoted me in some ways. And it's been for the better for sure.
Respect. I respect that. You know, I, I mean, it's just a reality that, you know, the people that you meet on the way up are the same people that you're going to possibly meet on the way down. And how they remember you as you moved up may be what helps, what inspires them to be your flotation device so that you don't hit rock bottom.
Yeah,
Just a life lesson.
I agree.
You
I
spoke
agree.
on, you spoke on it. I'm just interpreting.
No, I definitely agree. That's a beautiful like analogy way to put it. Like it's the support system you never expect to have, and then out of nowhere you realize like, damn, I thought I was doing this for you guys. Like, look at what you guys are doing for me in turn. And it
Right.
can be a very positive thing or it can be a very negative thing, but that's where you have the choice to decide. And I don't know. I think it's beautiful.
Well, musician. So guitar and keyboard self-taught.
Yes. Now I do want to pause and say I do need to grab a charger. For some reason my phone will not stay charged. I'm gonna do that real quick.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so I'm not I would never say that I'm full-fledged amazing guitarist or a full-fledged amazing pianist, but starting at that age of 4, I started asking for instruments and started teaching myself, man. And as of right now, the guitar I like to rock out on electric, acoustic. I've played with writing some songs as far as that's concerned. I'm trying to dabble in that. Keyboard, I still need to work on a little bit. But yeah, those are things that are underlying talents that I definitely would like to grow and expand on. And that's something I started doing with Jody, but we kind of taken a step since then, pause because we were focusing on vocals. But yeah, slowly but surely trying to get somewhere with those.
I have to ask you, so you're still having fun learning how to make music.
Oh
And
yeah, absolutely.
okay. So I because I was gonna ask you, I'm like, man, with all the sounds, starting as early as you did, with all the sounds that you hear and music that you create and listen to and submitted to you, are you still able to like vibe out to music as a consumer, or do you find yourself analyzing everything that you hear?
Oh no, I enjoy it, man.
Okay.
Music's of the soul. You can sit there and try to break down every fundamental thing and da, 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 da. That's not the purpose of music. I mean, you can do that, but like Bob Marley said, like one love, like it's just an emotion, it's a feeling. Like there's just some songs that don't need to be explained or broken down, and that's still very much so how I am as a consumer. I feel it. I'm like, oh, I love that, or oh, I don't love that. Why don't I love that? Oh, whatever. But um, I don't know. No, I don't. I don't really see myself breaking it down. I just vibe, and I appreciate it more. If anything, I realize I'm like, damn, that was a 6-part harmony I just heard. You know what I mean? Ariana Grande's song and stuff. I'm like, hold on, like I'm able to piece those things together. So it's more of like a bigger appreciation for it, if anything, truthfully.
Okay, so you don't let the analysis ruin the enjoyment of the product. You're still vibing out, but you're going, "Oh, that was dope, though.
Yeah, yeah,
Ooh,
yeah.
let me
For
listen to
other
that
artists,
again."
yeah.
Right.
Myself, maybe not so much. I'm a little bit more critical of my own music.
Of
Definitely.
course.
I think we all obviously understand that. You know what I mean? I might listen to it and somebody might be like, yo, this is fire. And I might be like, I don't know, like that second verse on that third bar, I didn't really like how that flowed or there's things on my own music that I'm definitely critiquing way further, which I think is a good thing.
Yeah. It's your
But as far
product.
as other people's music go, no, I just vibe, man.
Yeah. It's your product. I have confessed that listening to music has been ruined for me. Uh,
Damn.
you know, I get like 300 emails a day. And that's just my inbox. Then of course the links. And I have like 20 seconds to listen to a song. And if I can get to 45 seconds, I think it's a good song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't even get a chance. I don't even listen to the radio. And when I do, I listen to dubstep. I am not listening to hip hop. I am not listening to any of that. I got some easy listening jazz, something to clear my palate, so to speak. That's my orange after the meal. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So, anyway, it's not about me, but I feel you. Um, we've covered a lot, but is there anything that you wanted to cover that I may have missed or neglected?
Not anything, truthfully. I'm excited for what this year has to come. I will say I'm at a point, a very pivotal point in my music career right now where things are kind of creating motion on its own. Obviously, you got to put in a lot of groundwork. It's just like a snowball on a hill. You got to start kind of molding it yourself and rolling it best you can. But eventually, the momentum kind of helps you out. And I think I'm at that point where momentum's starting to pick up. I'm very grateful for that. You're going to be seeing a lot more performances from me, whether it's in my state, in my city, Kansas City, or different states or different cities. That's a huge focus for 2024. Like we said, we do have a song with Fancy and the Beat coming out, Just a Dream. I'm super excited for that, projected for sometime this summer. And then on a more closer note, Sweetheart for this lovely Valentine's Day season, trying to get that out. So lots of new things, lots of new productions, lots of new shows. And we're just trying to continue to grow that snowball. So that's where I'm at. Outside of that, I don't really have anything aside from I love all my supporters and my community, my LGBTQ community, my listening community, my family community, my friend community. I appreciate all the support on so many levels. I can't even begin to express my gratitude. But outside of that, man, I'm ready to create and I'm ready to keep that ball moving. So
all right, man. We know we're gonna be following your story, man. I hope you come back and as at these benchmarks and we can have more conversations and share you with our audience. So this one is going to end up on 2 places actually, because we own a LGBT magazine as well, Rainbow Affair. So
yeah.
We're going to put you on Hype and Rainbow Affair and share you with you need to get people need to appreciate what you bring to the table as much as possible.
Appreciate that.
And expose the next generation. So you have a friend here. I got you. Anytime I can help, anytime you got a message or, it could be an initiative in the community that you want to push, reach out to me. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that, Jerry.
I appreciate you too. All right, everybody, the Hype Magazine live sessions. Haleigh Marchisio. She is a young lioness that's doing the thing in manners and styles to which you will become accustomed, because we're going to put her down your throat. We're going to shove it. This is music.
Yeah.
For real. With high energy. An aware young lioness doing the thing. Nothing's deterred her. She began early. Here we are. And she's breaking. I'm just going to say, I'm telling y'all that now. I'm owning it right now. She's breaking. And we're going to help as best we can. Lastly, go on and tell them where to find you.
All right. Yeah, honestly, any streaming networks as far as your listening needs goes, Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, whatever you need. Haleigh Marchisio, Haleigh, Marchisio, Marchisio. You also can find me on social media. I am on Instagram. That's my main platform as far as performances, show dates. I also am on a reality TV show coming up this January 23rd, starting on Tuesdays. That is coming up here soon. So all of that's going to be on Instagram at that Marchisio chick, spelled the same way I listed before. Outside of that, I do have a website coming up soon. We'll go ahead and get Jerry that information when it's available. But until then, just look me up and feel free to reach out if you have anything you'd like to talk about. And I look forward to seeing you soon on the stage near you, hopefully.
There it is there. All right. The Hype Magazine live session. Hype first. Haleigh Marchisio.
Got it.
Going down. Peace.
As an artist, we should reflect the time.
Why you so talented?
Cause I'm black.
Why you so amazing?
Cause I'm black.
It's really important that we build characters so that people understand their story matters.
2 Chainz and I both are just really into good food.
And when you know you are royalty, you will only aim in life to be royalty.
We're doing it right now. I don't give a damn what they say about me. Yes, I called your ass out. I know I shouldn't be saying this kind of.
Shout out to Hype Magazine Network.
Shout out to the Hype Magazine Network.